What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another review, and this time we're taking a look at Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance. Let's waste no time. Let's get into this. I overall think that this standalone sequel to the original Ghost Rider movie is not good. Spirit of Vengeance kind of sucks. Actually, it really sucks. With maybe a few things, the rest of this movie is kind of a bore, and it makes that first movie look like The Dark Knight. So let me just get my pros out of the way. Pros: Nicolas Cage as Ghost Rider Johnny Blaze. While in the first movie he didn't really have that patented Nic Cage energy, with the exception of a couple of scenes, in this movie Nic Cage is full blown, just chewing the scenery like he does best, and he's clearly the most entertaining part about this movie. I overall think the look of Ghost Rider in this movie is actually much more better. Now, I love his look in that first movie, but in this movie, I like the more demonic look that he has, and I like that the charcoal color that his skull has when he's in Ghost Rider mode. It looks pretty cool, and the Hell Cycle looks so much more demonic and cool in this movie as well. So, in terms of the overall look of the Ghost Rider, this movie, an improvement over something that was already cool to begin with. This movie just made it much more cooler. So I give it that. I give Neville Dean and Taylor that. Another thing that I like about this movie is it has a couple of okay action sequences in it. With the best one being a scene where Johnny Blaze, as the Ghost Rider, takes on operates this tractor crane that he turns into a flaming chainsaw, which is actually a pretty cool scene. I'm not gonna lie, it looked pretty damn good. And that's where my positives stop and begin. Everything else is completely negative. The story for this movie is very just kind of boring. Pretty much, Johnny has to protect this kid named Danny and his mom, because mom had a little thing with the devil, carried the devil's son, and the devil's son is Danny. And since Johnny and Danny are very similar in ways because they both have a demonic essence to them, it's Johnny's need is to protect them. And this movie tries, kind of haphazardly tries to make me feel the connection between Johnny and Danny, and I just don't feel it. I just don't buy it. I just don't buy it at all. It feels really forced, and I just don't like it at all. Not only that, Ciaran Haynes plays the devil, and he is completely wasted in the role. The devil, Mephistopheles, does absolutely nothing in this movie. This other character called Blackout, who is pretty much his whole thing is that he turns everything he touches turns to decay. He's just nothing as well. He's another useless character in this movie who doesn't even have anything interesting to do, doesn't have anything interesting to say, and he has these bits where he's trying to do dark humor, and it kind of just does not work. It's kind of lame, it's kind of forced, I don't like it at all. This movie has quality actors in Idris Elba and Christopher Lambert, and for the most part, it kind of wastes their talents. No, the idea of Ghost Rider, of Johnny Blaze having a companion in the Idris Elba character, who's called Monroe, is an interesting idea, and it could have worked, having these two conflicting personalities. But this movie doesn't even attempt to build any sort of neutral relationship between these two. To me, that's convincing anyway. And again, I feel Idris Elba's contributions to this movie kind of falls flat because they don't really do anything interesting with his character. The only thing he does is that he's French and that he drinks a lot, and he gets killed in the end by Blackout. That's pretty much the contribution of Idris Elba in this movie, because he's kind of a footnote in this movie. He has scenes peppered here and there, and I'm not going to lie, his introductory scene is okay. It's over the top. It's fine for what it was, but other than that, Monroe never really captures that essence ever again in this movie. And again, this movie has Christopher Lambert playing a monk. And this movie does absolutely nothing with this character. He's just there to get the essence of Ghost Rider out of Johnny Blaze, and he gets killed, and he does nothing. What a way to waste an actor like Christopher Lambert. What a way to underutilize an actor like Idris Elba. This movie's so bad. Another thing I don't like, the visual style in this movie is like a 5-year-old on crack cocaine. I hate that fast-paced, choppy editing, and Neville Dean and Taylor use that all throughout this movie. This sugar-induced, just high-speed editing. I don't like it. I hate it. I hate it from a visual standpoint. It's just nauseating to look at. It just makes this movie, to me, just doesn't make it unwatchable, but it makes it nauseating. Like you get sick when you're watching because you feel like you're watching a roller coaster, and I'm like, I don't like that. I hate that at all. The one thing I can give Mark Steven Johnson with his Ghost Rider movie is that he visually made the movie pleasing to watch and pleasing to look at. Neville Dean and Taylor, to me, did the exact opposite. For every good thing they were going for, it gets taken back by something stupid and something that doesn't even need to be in this movie. And their visual style does not need to be in this movie at all. It doesn't need to be in this movie at all. I don't like it. They're a horrible fit for this. They set up things that could have been interesting, but they don't even come close to utilizing them. Like, Johnny Blaze having to take care of Danny, could have been interesting. This father-son relationship could have been interesting if this movie actually, gave more attention to it. The budding, Blaze and Monroe having a mutual friendship that could evolve more into a good partnership that doesn't really go anywhere. I mean, they do fight together in the end, but there's a large chunk of the movie where Monroe disappears and he doesn't really come back to like the third act. So he's completely underutilized. The Devil could have been a much better threat. Instead, he's not even close to being a threat. The character Blackout, he's just there he's just there for Ghost Rider to fight, who's on an equal playing field as him, because for the majority of this movie, Ghost Rider is taking on human villains and he wipes them out very, very easily. So yeah, this movie does not have anything going for it. It has a couple of okay things going for it. It has some good visuals to it. It actually has a pretty decent score to it. But other than that, this movie doesn't really have anything to offer, which is why I'm going to give Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance a 2 out of 10. That 2 out of 10 is for a couple of visuals and Nicolas Cage's performance, and that's just about it. 2 out of 10 for Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance. If you like this movie, let me know in the comment section down below. If you hate it, let me know in the comment section down below. Like the video and subscribe, and I will check you back next time for more.